A very good evening to all our viewers today. Today we have with us a person who's completed his BA in Political Science and MA International Relations. He studied government, global environmental protection and international politics, as well as PhD in Agro-food, environmental and forestry economics and engineering. He's worked with the ministry in Italian ministry in the government. He's worked in Morocco, he's worked in Nairobi, and he has the expertise of all over the world, from developed countries to developing countries. Presently, he's leading L'Oreal Italy as a sustainability director. Let us all welcome Mr. Simone Targetti.
Hi,
Welcome, Simone.
very nice to meet you. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for accepting. Simone, you have such a wide range of experience, and you come from such diverse background, from international politics, economics to environment. What made you choose sustainable development?
Yeah, thanks so much for the question. Actually, I always been really passionate about nature and wildlife and natural resource conservation. And when I was younger, I had the chance to study geopolitics, and I really understood the issue of sustainable development in the sense that at that time it was not really clear about the role of climate change, but it was clear that natural resources were degrading. So I started watching documentaries and so on, and people were started talking about, what we are losing in terms of species, what we are is experiencing in terms of sea level rise and so on. So because I was really addicted to nature and wildlife, I thought that maybe this would have been like a good career, a good path for my future. And it was interesting because I started with the look by looking at politics, like environmental policies. But then I thought that it was really interesting to look more on the economic side, because actually, when you talk about natural resources protection, you need to really explain the value of them, because otherwise it's very difficult to be heard. And we see today there is a lot of volunteering, there's a lot of activism, but then if you want to be heard, you really need to show the value, the economic value of the nature, of landscape, of forests and so on. So that's why after starting my career and studying in international relations and environmental policies, I decided to go for a PhD in environmental economics. That's where I really deepened the value of ecosystem services, and that was very good choice. Actually, today, as you see, everybody needs this kind of expertise. Many companies needs that, but also governments and international institutions.
So that's very interesting, Simon. Now, early in your career, you had the role of emissions trading advisor to the Italian Ministry for Environment, Land and Sea. Would you share more about the responsibilities of the work, and how can other countries also derive learnings from the same?
Yeah, thanks so much. Actually, that was my first assignment. So it was very interesting for me to see how public entities such as the government would work on the emission trading schemes, on carbon credits exchange. So I was really in charge of supporting private sector in Italy for credits allocation. So in the emission trading scheme of the European emission trading scheme. So we were working as a, let's say, consulting or supporting entity for the companies that were used to report to the European Union about the emission tradings, carbon emissions, and so on. So it was really interesting because I had the chance to basically look at the emission trading scheme from two sides, from the public government side, but also from the private sector side, and see the challenging situation that the private companies were facing. So really interesting for me, and I think that there were many opportunities to work also at the EU level, the European Union level, with position papers, so supporting Italy on writing policy papers on carbon credit schemes, but also on climate change issues. So it was interesting because I had the chance to be invited several times at the European Commissions, and I was early days in my career. So it was incredibly valuable for me to get this kind of international context, because that's what I was looking for. So I think, generally speaking, other countries can benefit first from emission trading schemes. There are several around the globe now. There are voluntary markets. There are also mandatory markets, which is, I think, a very interesting options for carbon credits, for carbon reduction. The cap and trade scheme is now well developed around the world, and I think, working at the government, it's very important. I would really encourage, the other people to start or to really have an experience in the public sector, because it can really show you the how does it work, the policy development, what are the negotiation schemes that you may engage, that you may experience and face with other countries, neighborhood countries, for example. And for my case, it was the European Union. So I think that other countries may experience from company issues, because when you start new policies such as the cap and trade schemes and voluntary markets, companies may be lost. May have some issues because they face additional costs, they face additional barriers, but that's not what basically you need to explain to them. That's like opportunities, especially if it's developed all around the world. It's opportunities to grow faster within innovations, so technologies, and to implement
The
innovative
voice is
schemes.
not coming very clear.
Sorry,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
sorry.
your voice is not coming very clear.
Oh, now are you listening to me? Is clear now? Is it clear now? No?
It could be
Hello?
better.
Hello? I will try to join again
Yeah.
through my laptop, maybe. Let me see if it's worked better. So I have full connection, so that's
Yes,
strange.
please. Sure.
Let me try again. Um, I think I'm not sure you can hear me better now. No. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, so I'll try to
I
speak with
can hear you
both.
better now.
Okay, good. So yeah, so there was a great opportunity for me basically to work with the European with the Italian government and the European Union. I hope you got some part of this speech. Okay,
Okay.
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but the sound is breaking in the middle. I can hear you,
Hmm.
but the sound is breaking in the middle.
Well, I have both Wi-Fi, and so very strange because I have both Wi-Fi and also
Yeah,
5G.
yeah.
So
Yeah, now I can hear you better. Okay, perfect.
okay, you will tell
Uh,
me if it's not
uh
clear.
Definitely I will. So, moving on to my next question. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I guess that still exists everywhere in the world. Um, Now, moving on to the next question, you worked as climate change specialist at Morocco with the Food and Agricultural Organization, and also
Yeah.
prepared the country program framework. What were some of the
Yes.
key points you considered and steps to ensure sustainable agricultural practices?
Yeah. So it was for me very interesting because it was first my experience with the FAO, with the Food and Agriculture Organization. So very interesting experience to participate with the CPF, which is called also UNDAF, which is basically the country framework. So we had the chance to work with all the different ministries and with all the different UN organizations and the entity, which made basically the challenge of sustainable agriculture and forestry very interesting. So I basically what was interesting really for me is that we had the chance to value a lot local knowledge. So we've been working with local people, trying to really value the local knowledge and traditions. So we work, for example, on a project called GIS, Global Important Agricultural System Heritage, and we experienced really the. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I get. I
Okay.
can. Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Just yeah, I can see you well too. Okay.
Okay, good. So this project was really interesting because we work with local communities and we enhance really the dialogue with the local tribes and local people. So I think that the best moment was really the engagement with local communities to guarantee sustainability in terms of agriculture, farming initiatives. We've been working with local experts, so technical expertise was really key. We did not really involve international expertise because we wanted people that know the field, know the local challenges, and also we valued a lot the multi-stakeholders approach. So we invited around the table local ministries, national government authorities, technical people, and consultants. So everything was really important for us to guarantee sustainability in local farming. And obviously, we have been training a lot the local people. That was very important because during a project on drip irrigation, we were really able to train them and to really build their skills and their competencies on sustainable farming and agriculture. We spent almost 1 year with them, and at the end of the year, we then stopped the project. And after a couple of years, we came back to evaluate the impact. And people were still, looking at that thanks to the project and thanks to the involvement that we put in place with the UN on sustainable farming. Hello?
Hello. Yeah. Uh, Thank you for. Can you hear me? Am I
Yes,
audible?
loud and clear. Yes, loud and clear. Yes, I can hear you. Loud and clear. But you cannot hear me. Hello?
I
Maybe
I can. I think so. Just remove all your headphones. Just get
because I
rid
have
of
full
all the headphones.
because I'm full of connect. I have a full connection, so I don't know what's happening because I have full connection here. So it should work very well.
Okay. Moving on to the next question. Um, at If you were to transform a conventional manufacturing company, which innovations would you integrate in the company from operations, marketing, strategy, and other business functions? Also, when we talk about the sustainable agriculture, if you could share a few innovations that you had included or incorporated in the work.
Yeah. Uh, Thank you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
I can hear
Hello?
you bleakly.
Okay. Don't know what to do. So basically, in the agriculture, in the sustainable farming, we've been working with the drip irrigation, which for Morocco was really something new, something innovative, um, uh, because you could save water and energy, so that was really important for us. But in a regular, let's say, company, so a manufacturer company, I would start with transforming the mindset of people. That's very important. So for me, the first step in transforming a company, a manufacturing company, to a sustainable one is through engagement of the staff, so the local employees. And this should come through innovation, innovative system, innovative tools, which are very important because you can, through innovative tools and engaging tools, gamification, you can really engage the different employees, and that's really drive transformation into the company. I would look at certification schemes, such as, for example, ISO 5001 or ISO 14001, always to federate people around the real changement in the mindset. In terms of supply chain, for example, I will look for. So first, I will look for in the sourcing part. I will look for an ambitious, sustainable procurement policy. So encouraging really ambitious KPIs for sustainable procurement. So in terms of sourcing, for example, raw materials and other products, we should be really aligned with, less environmental footprint. With the supply chain, I think that what is important is to look for innovative tools for better management of the stock. This is very useful because when you look at SRM system or innovative tools, you can manage your stock in a very nice way. You can so reduce transportation, so you can reduce transport, so logistics is improved with less emissions. And what is also important is to look at, for example, green transport to deliver your product. So that would be really nice, especially for last mile. You can really look at a green delivery system. Other innovation that I will put in place would be definitely solar panels or energy. Let's say energy for self-consumption, green energy for self-consumption, establishing maybe PPAs, and definitely look at the water opportunities, such as the water loop program, for example. So to basically collect and reuse all the water you produce on your site from manufacturing. And then something also innovative would be the take back schemes, for example. Look at waste recovery from external providers, for example. So where you establish joint plan, and you can basically get back paperboard or plastic containers from the same material you have given away, so basically from your waste. So that's very important to look at these closed loop schemes. And then obviously I think that one of the main issue, or one important thing, is to bring sustainability at the core of the business. So bring your maybe sustainability leader in the board of directors of your company. That's maybe the last initiative I would bring to switch really a manufacturing company from conventional to sustainable. Hello? Hello?
I'm sorry, I had a network glitch at my end. I hope I'm audible to you. My next
Yes.
question to you was, you've also worked in Wall Tanzania, which is an initiatives you undertook in environment and sustainability for theme-oriented entertainment parks.
Yeah. So can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me now? Hello? I cannot hear you, Arsha. I cannot hear you.
You are audible. You are audible.
Okay, good. Thank you. So with Disney, we implemented several initiatives, several great, I guess, initiatives. So first of all, we installed the biggest solar canopy plant in Europe with around 46,000 photovoltaic panels for power of 36 gigawatt per year. So that was really a great project because we were looking for reducing our energy needs because the parks are very energy intensive. So that was really a great project that brought us great support in terms of self-consumption in energy and electricity. We also look at the water treatment station. So we had an internal water treatment station. So we reuse basically our water in a closed loop. So it was really interesting for us to see the 2 million cubic meters of water, of potable water saved since 2013. So 2013 when the project started. Thanks to the station. And then we also implemented a geothermal wheel to basically for heating our parks and resort. And basically, it gave us almost around 20% of our heating needs at Disneyland parks in France. So that was really, three of the main initiatives. And then we installed also smart recycling bin that were engaging for our customers, for our guests. So it was really interesting for us to have these kind of innovations for parks and resorts. Can you hear me? You still there? Hello?
Yeah, hi. Though there are challenges in listening the voice and there are sound problems, but still, I hope the others could make out. Now, Simone, you come across as a person who's very passionate towards environment and sustainable development. Presently, you're leading L'Oreal Italy as Chief Sustainability Officer. How do you think we can
Yeah.
ensure circular economy of the end products from L'Oreal?
Yeah. Um, I think the first step is really the eco design of product. So eco designing products is really the main aspect of circular economy. So we are developing now products which are mostly 100% recycled plastics. So this is very important for all our packaging, for example, and so this can be basically recycled if there is a good scheme that works well. Um, so we also looking at reducing materials in the sense that we basically look at less packaging, less plastic per product sold. So this is very important because it give you less problems to work through circularity. Um, and I think that what is also important is to look at innovative recycling scheme. So once you have reduced the plastic, you have switched to 100% recycled plastic. You have switch from plastic packaging to paper packaging. That's also what we're doing. I think it's very important to install recycling scheme with the local communities. So I, it's very interesting to see what are the opportunities for us to recycle our products, our packaging, but also our liquids. So the products itself. What is also important for circularity is to engage with our customers, with our guests, with our customers, basically, because they are the ones who buy our products. So if they are persuaded about the importance of circularity, so less plastic, less packaging, then it will be easier for us to implement these schemes.
So do you think that in future we could see L'Oreal with no plastic?
Um, I think we could go through a very very low percentage of plastic, knowing that plastic is not a bad. Single-use plastic is bad. Plastic is definitely something that, if works well, could be recycled 1,000 times. So it really depends which kind of plastic. There needs to be, like monoplastic, because if you mix certain amount of plastic and different kind of plastic, it's very difficult. But for us, it's definitely very, very important to close the loop. So to go through less plastic and recycle the plastic that we put into the market. Yeah.
Great. Now, is there a possibility to have more organic materials used as raw products for used as raw materials for your products? And what are the steps you are taking to ensure sustainable supply chain management?
Yeah. So we are going through more and more natural raw materials. So this is one of the main engagement of L'Oréal for the future, which is our 2030 strategy. We are looking to go more and more through 100% natural, and there are some brands, for example, like Biotherm, which are all the raw materials, so are natural raw materials, so we don't use any additional chemicals products. I think it's very important. It's something that is developed from our headquarters in Paris, and it's probably one of the main challenge that we have, one of the main objective that we have for 2030 strategy. So definitely, yes, I would say that we need to go absolutely as fast as possible through 100% organic material. And for our supply chain, it's very important that we improve, logistics, the contact with our suppliers through more efficient systems. We are implementing new management system for the supply chain. And we're definitely working a lot with our suppliers to involve them in this transformation, because what is fundamental for us is that we are not the only one who drive the transformation towards more sustainable business model and sustainable products, but also our suppliers needs to make this switch. So we train them, we organize sustainability days with them. And so these are the main important things that we're doing really with our suppliers: technology, but also engagement.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, IICSR is a young institution developed to build responsible business leaders. What kind of subjects do you see, or what are the knowledge gaps that you see in the existing corporates which we can fill?
Well, I think what is missing today is technicalities for sustainability leaders, because unfortunately, private sectors so far have been engaging different people with not great expertise on sustainability to lead this role. So I think it's very important to train people well in sustainability before getting the role of sustainability leader in companies in private sector. What is really important is to build soft skills of sustainability leaders, because they need to run a transformation of the mindset. So not only from a technical point of view, but also from a mindset point of view. So it needs to be a really cultural switch. And that's why it's really important, the hard skills and soft skills of the sustainability leaders. I think you should advise also companies to bring the sustainability team at the heart, at the core of the companies. So really bring it as a role in the corporate with the CEO, basically, working the board, corporate board. And I think you should also look at strengthening KPIs of companies on sustainability. So you may need to really work with companies to set up stringent KPIs in order to make companies aware and responsible and accountable for what they do in terms of sustainability, and even their people, so the directors, but also the manager and so on, responsible for sustainability issues.
Thank you so much, Simone, for sharing your time and wisdom with us. Would you have any final message for all our viewers who are watching right
Yeah.
now or watch the recorded one?
Yeah, so first of all, I apologize if the connection was not good, but I'm not sure if it was on my side. But anyway, no problem. I think I can share a couple of points. So the first, I think, is sustainability is not for few people. It's for everyone. And when I say everyone, is that everyone has a role to play. So when I say everybody's an ambassador of sustainability and sustainable development, is because if we are aware of something, we should share. We have to share it with our neighbors, because our neighbors may not be aware of that. So that's the first thing, because some practices are well known somewhere in the world, but not known somewhere else, or some very good practices are known in your neighbor and some are not. So please, be the first ambassador of sustainable development and sustainability practices with your neighbors, and then to spread the world maybe farther than that. So that's the first message. The second message is that we should not stop sometimes at the first impact of our action, but we should always look at broader sense of sustainability. So through a life cycle, what we call life cycle assessment. Why that? Because sometimes some of our choices may be very good for carbon reduction, so carbon emission reductions, but then may be very bad for water or biodiversity conservation. So there's always a trade-off in what we do. And I really hope that we will be able more and more to measure our actions really through the entire life cycle assessment, looking at carbon, but at the same time, and biodiversity impact, water impact, energy impact, and so on and so on. That's very important to really drive the change.
Thank you so much, Simon. It has been a pleasure talking to you today. And we highly appreciate the work that you've done in the past and you are working towards the future. We look forward to contributing in whatever small way we can towards your goal. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much to you. Thank you. Ciao.